I just purchased some of Cricut's brand new color changing permanent vinyl and I can't wait to try it out. This one is activated by the cold and this one is activated by the heat. We're also going to be trying out Cricut's new Linerless transfer tape, so we'll see how that works. If you're new here, my name is Nisha. Welcome to Little Craft Nest. And if you're returning, welcome back to another crafting adventure. Let's jump on to Cricut Design Space and make some fun decals. These are the decals I'm going to be using today. We are going to put these fun spring flowers on a tumbler and we are going to put this design over here on a coffee mug. If you're interested in any of these designs, they can all be found on Cricut Design Space. These spring flowers here are free whether you have Cricut Access or not. This image over here is available with Cricut Access. However, you can also purchase it from design bundles and then you'll also have the commercial license for it. And I'll leave all these designs linked down below in the description of this video so you can find them easily. I've already sized them to the size I want, so let's go over and click on Make It. We're going to do this on the mat, and I'm going to space my flowers out a little bit. I'm actually going to apply them one at a time to my cup rather than all at once, just because I think that's going to be easier with the tumbler that I'm using. So let's press Continue. We're going to click on Browse All Materials. And then at the top, we can search for the color changing vinyl. So just type in color and you'll see right here, it says heat cooled activated color changing vinyl. That's one we want. So we're going to select that and press done. Now we can load our mats and get these images cut out. The first cup we're doing is the flower cup, and here is our permanent vinyl. And this looks like it'll go from blue to purple when it gets cold. We'll see if it actually works. So I need about 6 inches of this, so let's cut this down. And let's go get this cut out. All right, now we can weed out these fun designs and apply them to our cups. All right, just be careful because some of the pieces may want to lift up. So right here, I've got this little line lifting up. So I'm just going to put my thumb on that piece so it doesn't lift up with the rest. So I'm going to weed this very carefully. This vinyl is actually thicker than I expected it to be. So just weed carefully when you're moving those little pieces. It looks like I need to rearrange a little piece here. So I'm just going to scooch that down and put that back into place. All right, so I'm done weeding this. It was a little bit of a pain to weed, but I did get it weeded just because I have so many little small pieces, but it's looking good so far. I'm going to cut these flowers out here individually just to make it a little simpler to weed and simpler to apply. All right, let's see how these bigger flowers weed out. Oh, that weeds out very nicely. It's so much easier weeding out bigger designs than small ones. So I'm going to start off by putting this decal here on a Cricut mug. And first I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and just clean it off. And here's the cup I'm putting the flowers on, so I might as well clean this off at the same time. This here is an acrylic tumbler. So here is my brand new Linerless transfer tape. So let's check this out. All right, here it is. Very sticky. So I am going to grab my scissors here and just cut a piece off because I don't really need this much. Now there's so much here, I feel like I'm going to be wasting it and I don't have a liner to put the extra on so I can use later. But one thing you could probably do is with the extra here, I'll probably use this for the flowers, but you can just put that aside, maybe stick it on a mat, or maybe you have some liner left over from some old vinyl and you can stick that on there. So let's try this out. I'm going to put this over the design. I like doing the little taco fold, start in the middle, and then just push towards the outside. Grab a scraper and go over it just to make sure everything sticks on there. We're going to pick it up and flip it over and gently peel back. Ooh, that is sticking no problem at all. Oh, I like that. I didn't even varnish the other side and that worked really well. It is stuck on there good. All right, let's see how it transfers onto the mug. I'm going to prop this handle up a little bit using my nail polish holder. That's what that is, if anyone's wondering. I use that to catch any of the little weeding bits. It's like a little garbage can on your fingers. It comes in quite handy. All right, let's put this on here. I am going to try to eyeball this and hopefully it goes on straight. So I like to put down one side first and then we can slowly go to the other side. Then I'm just going to rub over everything with my finger, make sure it's stuck on there really well. And let's peel this transfer tape off and see how it did. Oh, look, even that little dot didn't lift up. It stuck right on there. So far I'm loving this transfer tape. Let's keep going. Oh, look, no problem at all. The whole thing transferred. I actually really like this transfer tape so far. It's working out really well. I do kind of miss having a liner because I like to reuse my transfer tape. You don't have to throw it out after a reuse. You can reuse it. So if you have a mat like this, you can stick it on there or maybe find another spot to save it so you don't have to throw it out, because I hate wasting my craft supplies. So I'm going to put this aside for now. And let's go get those flowers and put those on our tumbler. And then we can try adding hot water to this and cold water to our tumbler and see what happens. So I'm going to lift up this piece that I put to the side. And let's try out our first flower here. This piece of transfer tape is actually kind of big, so I'm going to cut it down. And there, once again, no problem getting that on the transfer tape. And I want these coming out the bottom, so I'm going to start at the bottom with my flower and work my way up slowly. Now, if your surface is really curvy and you feel like your vinyl's going fold, like I have that feeling right now with this leaf against the stem, grab your scissors and just cut right in between your vinyl decal through the transfer tape, and that will help you get it down flat. Okay, once you've cut that down, now we can put this leaf down, and then we can do the rest of the flower here, and then go out towards the edges. And let's peel this back. And it looks like I got a little bubble there, so I'm just going to try to smooth that out with my thumb here. If smoothing any bubbles that you get out with your thumb doesn't work, you can take like a pin, or I have a pin pen here, just poke the middle and that will release some of the air, and look, it's lying there flat now, so that works really well. So let's go on to our next flower. I think I need another piece of transfer tape because I cut up that last piece, and we'll get that on there. One thing I've been noticing, I find it really hard to cut this transfer tape. I'm not sure if it's just my scissors are getting old or this transfer tape is actually hard to cut. If I'm cutting right at the tip, it doesn't seem to work, so I'm cutting right at the back edge of my scissors. That seems to work a little better. I think it would be great if Cricut created some sort of like tape dispenser for the Linerless transfer tape, or maybe I could find like an old saran wrap roll or something and put that in there just so I'd have a blade to cut it with. But Cricut, if you're listening, a dispenser for this would be great. Yeah, I'm having such a hard time cutting this. There we go. And once again, that transferred really nice. So this time I didn't cut this piece, so let's try to reuse it and see how it does. So I got my next tulip here. And that worked really well again, reusing that same piece. And let's reuse that same piece one more time for our last flower. All right, it's starting to get a little wrinkly, but I think I can still transfer this. All right, let's peel this last piece off. And look at that, that is on there great. So we got all the flowers on there. I really like this transfer tape, but it does start to crinkle a bit after you keep reusing it. But if you're using it for the same project over and over, that is great. But at this point, I think I might just throw this out and not save this piece. All right, so let's go into the kitchen. We'll fill this one with ice water and this one with boiling water and see what happens. All right, let's pour and see what happens. And you can see here that all of our letters have turned from dark pink to light pink. And I'm sure as you slowly drink your tea or coffee, the color will slowly change as well. Or as your coffee gets cold if you don't drink it fast enough. All right, and let's try the ice water now. Alright, so it doesn't look like our vinyl is changing color, and I'm wondering if it's because this is a double-walled tumbler even though it is acrylic. Maybe I will try this on some glass and then we'll see if this vinyl works on a glass cup instead. Alright, I just stuck this in the freezer and took it out and it turned purple. But I am going to try some of this vinyl on a glass cup and see if we can get it changing color by just pouring water into the cup. So stay tuned. I grabbed this cup here from my kitchen cupboard and added the same color changing vinyl to it. And I also used the same transfer tape. And one thing you'll notice is the transfer tape did leave some sticky residue on my glass, which I wasn't too excited about. However, I was able to use some rubbing alcohol and take it off. I tried that on this side and it took it off no problem, but I do have sticky residue on here. Now that just may be because this is a tinted glass. So I did try it on a clear glass and there was no sticky residue on that glass. So that's something to keep in mind if you are using a tinted glass. So let's see if this works. I'm going to first fill this with ice and then pour water into it. And we'll see if our blue vinyl changes to purple. And you can see it changing color on this glass. It changed so much faster using this glass. Now let's see if we add ice to this first before water, if it'll actually change purple without having to put this cup in the freezer first. So once again, this is not changing color. And my guess is because this is double walled, so it's keeping the outside of this cup from becoming really cold. So my recommendation would be to use glass or a single walled tumbler, one that doesn't keep the outside from getting cold. Okay, it's been 2 minutes now since I poured the water in here and my vinyl is actually starting to change purple now. So it just took a little bit for that ice to penetrate the acrylic plastic here, and now our flowers are starting to look purple, and I'm very excited that this is actually working on this tumbler now. And look, we're almost as dark now as the other cup. I had so much fun playing around with this color changing vinyl today. It really worked out well. And as you can see, it does work on the tumbler. I was a little worried at first, and it's kind of fun when I put my warm hands on this ice water. We get the blue showing through again, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm sure my kids are going to want this on all their cups to play around with this summer. I hope you enjoyed our projects today, and if you're looking for more fun crafting inspiration, be sure to check out some of my other videos, and I hope to see you on more crafting adventures.